everyone. Hi, welcome. Starting a few minutes early because my guest today was here early. I see you, Jenkins, in the chat. Thanks for being here. Super appreciate it. So my guest is early, and I didn't want to ask him questions, like start asking him questions and then have the production come across as insincere. So just decided to start early. Gonna add him now. He is a candidate for U.S. Senator, which cannot be called senatorial candidate, in the state of North Carolina. Welcome, Shannon Bray.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. How's it going?
Not too bad.
Awesome. So I think this stream and conversation came about because of a poll that I put on Twitter like a week ago about whether the color green could be considered a HEX color.
Okay.
Is that right? I'm like trying to confirm. You don't remember?
I'm not even sure.
Okay.
I just all of a sudden, I don't know. Maybe I just liked one of your things and then it just kind of blew up. I don't know.
Yeah, that was, you commented and you were like, I guess I need to learn about HEX. And then, the community was like all over it. And yeah. So you, okay. So right now, what is your job?
Right now, I'm an IT manager.
Okay.
I keep them private just because I'm in politics. They're not ready for me to out that.
Do you hold any elected offices right now?
I do not.
Okay. All right. And you're running for Senate in North Carolina?
Yeah, U.S. Senate in the state of North Carolina as a libertarian.
Okay. Who was summoned here? Okay, so state of North Carolina, you're a libertarian. You did run for a different office before this, right?
I ran for the same office in the last term for a different seat.
Okay.
For the 2020.
Okay. I remember talking to you then. I think that's when we started following each other like 2 years ago or 2.5, something in the 2 to 2.5 year range. You were like, I wish that I had the time to learn about crypto, but I'm campaigning. Yeah. And now you consider you're a crypto friendly politician.
I'm a very crypto friendly.
Okay.
So I've understood blockchain and the technology for a while. I've been writing code since I was really young. But what I didn't quite understand was the exchanges, how all of the gas worked with ETH and Uniswap and all of the various, and then you have all the meme cultures and the tribalism. And when you just, even though I understood the technology and I had my own applications in my mind, right, working, on trying to, how blockchain can help secure our elections and, using blockchain in the insurance agencies or whatnot to automatically file claims. There's all this practical applications that's happening in businesses behind the scenes with artificial intelligence and all of this. But then that has nothing to do with the currency aspect of of what people really think blockchain is. So diving into that, my first exposure was kind of through Robinhood because I've done the stock trading and stuff. But then slowly kind of started jumping from exchange to exchange, and now I think I'm on 6 or 7 different exchanges.
Okay. All right. Let's see. So I was like looking you up today, and I found out that you are a SHIB army. You're in the SHIB army. Is that right?
I am. Yeah. Okay. So I started that on September 11th. I had a military buddy who committed suicide. He had a lot of personal problems, and one of them was he was homeless. He was proud. He just kind of didn't really share that with us. But after he passed, I realized that we need to, and it wasn't just then, but I realized that we need to do more for our homeless veterans. So what I did was I was looking at all of the various cryptocurrencies. I was looking for ones that I thought might have potential based off of kind of the chatter I see on Twitter. One that had a really good mass multiplier, kind of like Sheeb. Any of the ones that are sub penny, I figure it's you don't never really know how high they're going to go, but there's always that what if factor.
Sure, yeah, and people don't really think about. I mean, I'm wondering, were you thinking about total supply? Because a lot of people only see the price. They're not thinking like, for this to go to a penny or for this to go to $1, the market cap would have to reach this.
Yeah, the market cap to me is all just BS, right? So let's take a look at. People get mad when we want to do this, but let's take a look.
No. Nobody here is going to get mad at you about market cap being BS.
Mm-hmm. When you look at Doge, right, it is a inflationary coin because as they mine it, more get added, right? So it always has an increase. It's already at, I don't know, 20 to 27 cents, depending on what day it is. But it can do it with an unlimited supply. So this whole market cap is just kind of BS. I think it's used as a marketing gimmick at the beginning, but now people are realizing that it doesn't really come into play. I mean, we see CoinMarketCap pull their data from different various places, but they're really owned by Binance, right? Yep. So, how legit's the information? Sheep's had a problem. HEX has had a problem. A couple of other coins have had issues. So we live in a decentralized, we're trying to be in a decentralized world, but yet we still have centralized information from people who are really there to manipulate the market, like the exchanges. So you kind of got to take all of that. The market cap is total BS to me.
Yeah, and to most everyone here too. So there's some people saying like, oh, he's Sheep Army, I roll, like I'm out. Okay, guys, if that's a problem for you, just leave because we don't judge other people for what's in their wallets here. Like you're not a maximalist. You're not like, I'm a Sheep maximalist. I would not hold or think positively of any other cryptocurrencies because it's Sheep or it, right? That's not you.
I've had up to 20 different holdings at any given time. I am into Sheep primarily because and emotionally so primarily because of my homeless veteran wallet, right? Okay. Because I put $700 into it at the time on September 11th. At the time, that was 100 million Sheep. Mm-hmm. I made a Twitter post about it. The Sheep community picked it up real quick. Somebody out of Fayetteville, North Carolina, a doctor who was in the Army, was like, "Hey man, love your mission. Here's another 100 million Sheep." So then I was like, "Holy crap, dude! I wasn't expecting anybody to donate. This was just my own personal thing." So I was like, "Well, what can I do?" So then I found out about NFTs. I'm sitting there trying to figure out. So I spent all weekend trying to figure out how to make an NFT and then trying to figure out the best time to do it with the gas prices and all of that. And if I wanted to make 1 versus 10, just kind of jumped into that. I made 10 NFTs because then I was like, well, then I'll have 1, he'll have 1. And then if the wallet ever does well, then I'll just give the other 8 away. And then the next day, another guy came in and said, hey, I want 100 million. I want one of your NFTs. So we've had 3 donors at 100 million. So at the time it was $2,100.
So I don't know if you guys are hearing this or not, but what he's saying is that he is really excited and emotionally attached to Sheep because people have been donating Sheep for his cause of helping homeless veterans. So I don't know what you might infer from that. Just wanted to point that out in case anyone is watching.
Yeah. So the $2,100 that we had in that wallet is now worth, between 20 and 30,000 on any given day where she is now, because of the 800 to 1,000% increase in October.
Okay.
So, and along with that, I had my own little sheep wallet. So I know people always told me it was a scam. I was like, I get it. I put a little money in various places.
Yeah.
And the one that hit six figures was sheep. Right. So
yeah, no, that's incredible. And really, a lot of people want to argue that cryptocurrency is about more than money, or claim that they're in it for the tech or in it for, whatever reason. And I think that there are a lot of people who are involved with cryptocurrency because they believe in the freedom that it brings. But the first freedom that it has to bring is that financial freedom. So it doesn't matter how it is that you get there, as long as you get there.
Yeah. Without financial freedom, you're not really going to be free at all, because then you're going to be dependent on others and whatnot.
Yeah. So sorry, I've had this question up for a while. Mobius asked, he says he's in North Carolina himself. What district are you running for?
Oh, it's the U.S. Senate, so it's the entire state.
Mm-hmm.
I will be on your ballot.
Okay. Great. There you go. Shannon Bray. All right. So you know what? I have a question for you. I don't know if you saw this yesterday, but maybe you have, because you saw a lot of people really upset about, a lot of, Hexicans very upset about the market cap being changed, for HEX being changed on a platform that Hexicans have trusted and promoted for, the last 2 years. And they changed the way that they rank coins, or the way that they calculate coins market caps, but didn't apply that to everything equally, essentially only applied it to HEX. So I kind of want to say, I feel like this is somehow similar to politics, in that sometimes elected officials say that they're going to do something and represent a people in a certain way, and then when they get into office, they vote completely the opposite. So Why should people trust you?
Well, because I'm actively holding all sorts of cryptos.
Okay.
I am a retail investor. I am what everyone else is doing. Sheep's taken off on a chart. But that's why, I'm not really in this for the politics. Trump threw me into the ring basically because I wasn't getting paid, furloughed me. So then I'm, the libertarian in me is just like, we got to fix the government, right? So it just kind of started the political aspect there. But by and large, my, taking care of the veterans, our a cybersecurity platform, making sure that we're able to defend ourselves from advanced persistent threats, and trying to take care of the country as a whole, are all things that no one's actually even talking about, right? Where someone picks up an issue with my favorite color is blue, and then someone else's is red, and they want to sit there and bicker. But I actually see that, inside the crypto world, we have the opportunity to actually improve the lives of everyone involved, and not just on, a United States scale. We're talking about a global scale. And there's all sorts of cryptos out there that have the potential to do it. Some of them are meme coins. Some of them are technology tokens. But the technology tokens are a lot harder for people to buy into, because they can't buy. Some of them maybe $500 to $1,000. And it's when you are able to buy like a full coin, right, and you get that multiplier going for you. That's what gets some people excited. But you have people in Brazil, you have people in Afghanistan, you have, in India. The meme coins are the ones that they can afford. They're the ones that, for like sheep, they can buy 1 million of them and then hope, what if it goes up to a penny? What if it goes up to 10 cents? What does this do for my family? So that's the power of not only a particular token, but that's the power of the the entire crypto market to where you're able to give financial freedom to people who would never have an opportunity to do it. And then with that, what kind of governments are actually going to support people who are no longer dependent on that? So, I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff that no one is thinking about. And crypto is probably the most important thing on our ballot that no one's talking about this coming election.
And nobody's talking about it? I don't know about that. I mean, recently there was language in a bill that would have, not taxed all of crypto, but made cryptocurrency extremely difficult to. I was just looking at your tweet about this, actually.
Yeah. So that went in with the infrastructure bill that just passed. It goes into effect in 2024. But a couple things, right? So now they're going to start having the exchange monitor and report on anything over $10,000. Now, for all the people out there who do NFTs, I don't think I've ever seen an NFT, unless it's one of mine, go off for like less than $1,000, right? Because they're just insane. So now you don't have anonymity on these accounts, and all of that's going to be tracked, because now you're also being able to tax those purchases too, which is in this bill. So this is a huge hit on crypto. It goes into effect 2024. So hopefully we get some crypto friendly folks in there that will kind of help, fix the regulation. Because I think this is kind of an overplay. Because then it's going to force people into things like Monero, and and for some of the people out there, they kind of know what direction we'll have to take that way. But we've got some interesting stuff coming up. They definitely see the value in it, right? They want to tax it to pay for the infrastructure bill that was already free.
Yeah.
But it is where the money's going to be. It is the future. They can't stop it, right? To the point to where now the U.S. government has their own token. So,
is that beeping on your end?
Yeah, it's okay. Just weird. I can kill it.
No, we're just curious if I was like, I don't think that's me, but maybe it is.
I didn't realize that was beeping through.
Cool. Yeah. So there's a question from Russ, and then I kind of want to go on to ask you a little bit about what you know about HEX, and maybe answer some questions and tell you a little bit more. But first, let's ask this question. Russ asks, should politicians use DAOs in some way to inform them how to vote on bills?
I think that would be excellent. Actually, one of the things that I was trying to figure out how to do is, actually how to get rid of your representatives, right? To the point to where everyone just goes and you stick. I mean, we don't need someone to go up there and assume what we want when we can have the data absolutely reflected in it. So yes, not only that, but I think everything between voting, keeping track of their budgets. Everything in the government should be running off blockchain in the future.
Okay, and you don't think that there's any potential harm in that? I think that there are some people who are really skeptical about, blockchain voting.
Well, MIT did put an article out, and one of their biggest concerns, if I remember right, was that people might sell their vote. But that could potentially happen now. It's just wherever someone's voting. But I don't remember what the other two issues were. I have to go back, and it's been a while since I read that article.
Okay.
But it was smartly done. But I've kind of read the balance on both sides. I definitely think that it's achievable. We just may not have figured it out yet.
Well, I think solving for identity first on the blockchain is going to be necessary for us to enable any kind of nationalized voting, because obviously that's something that people are going to have to be able to do, verify who they are.
Right. Well, that would be we'd probably have its own blockchain, for voting. In order to get on it, you'd have to verify your identity, which it would be it's completely different than, how we're trying to decentralize and stuff our money. But, for voting and things like that, it's super easy just to say, yep, I'm this person, and you can validate it off biometrics, however you want to do it. And you're getting rid of all the BS.
All right, cool. So yes, so people are liking what you're saying. I'm not surprised at all. Let's get into HEX. I'm sure we'll come back to politics and blockchain and all of that, at some point in the conversation. But what do you know about it? What do you know? What questions do you have right off the bat?
So I did a little homework. I watched a couple of your shows, and I watched Richard do his blockchain 101, I believe it was, or something similar to that. And I still kind of left with, so this is what I know, and also what things that about it. I mean, I realized that I think he has around 70%. People are worried about that because then it's more centralized. But
here's the thing. All of the cryptocurrencies have some degree of centralized ownership, especially when they're new.
Right. Well, and as I'm saying, the nice thing about HEX is at least he's doxed, right?
Yep.
I can find him. So if there's a rug pull, right, you actually know who this guy is, and he'd be pretty easy to find. So I think that kind of removes that for me. If he was a cartoon character, right, and it just started, you get the rug pull, you have nowhere to go. But my number one rule with crypto is if it's not 6 months old, I don't put any real money into it.
Okay.
I might put like $10 in it, but that's different.
Okay. All right. Okay. So that is one major concern. A lot of people have major concerns about HEX's centralized ownership, and where I would say that HEX's centralized ownership is a major strength for several reasons, right? Because when one person who doesn't need to sell the coin is holding is the majority of the token's holder, like majority owner of the overall supply, that person, isn't going to just dump the price. Not when they're like you said, that removes the risk. It removes some of the risk of the price drop. With HEX also, because it's a staking coin that pays stakers inflation. The fact that the coin or the token inflates by 3.69% every year. But only the percent, but that is divided among the percent of stakers. So right now, people are earning far more than 3.6% a year, because the majority is unstaked. Also, it controls the liquidity. So in a decentralized world where people are operating on decentralized exchanges like Uniswap, where people are operating on decentralized exchanges like Uniswap, it's an advantage for the person who has the token's best interest to be holding that token, because that means that person controls what its liquidity is tied to.
Okay, so I do understand that HEX is great for staking. Now, outside of that, and I'll try to compare it to some tokens that I understand a little better.
Sure.
What other utility does it have? Like with credit or crypto.com, right? They have the CRO token, which is the utility of, taking care of their payments. What does, outside the fact that I get really good returns over a number of years with HEX using the banking rules, what else can I do with HEX?
So that's really HEX's only purpose. It wasn't intended to be a means of exchange. It wasn't trying to be digital cash for the world. Its intent was it's a time deposit or a CD.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's really all it has to be. It can be used to transfer value. It's a store of value. It can be used to transfer value, but right now, because HEX is on Ethereum, it's not reasonable to transfer value in it in terms of its just cost per transaction. That's why Pulse Chain, which I don't know how much you know about, is coming up.
Yeah, is that like a L2?
No, it's actually not a layer 2. It's a modified layer 1. So
Okay.
it's a fork of the entire system state of Ethereum.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So Hex Toshi says no beeper notifications need to be set for Hex for buys and sells because you just stake and chill. I can attest to that. It's really nice to not really be like so worried about the day-to-day value that you're checking its price often. Although a lot of people who are staked are still checking their staker app or checking, whatever coin metric platform they prefer to see the asset's price.
Now, where do you normally trade your HEX at?
So there are several exchanges, and Uniswap is the biggest one, but it's really a decentralized. It's not listed on centralized exchanges. You do essentially have to interact with the Ethereum blockchain directly to purchase it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. This is really off. Have you heard anything about Alex Saunders?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't expect him to. So I don't think we need to get all into that. Yeah, so that's really, that is its utility, is as a store of value and as a staking coin. I mean, a CD is super valuable, right? Like my aunts and uncles always gave them to me when I was growing up. CDs are bonds. And then when they matured, when I was in college, that helped me get through some really lean times. So I think that a CD is really useful.
So ideally, you're staking for 5 years. Is that what
So you can stake for any period of time from 1 day to 5,555 days. The longer that you stake, the higher the interest that you're going to earn is, and then that interest also compounds.
And that's where that 40 is.
Yep.
Right? Isn't it somewhere?
Yep. Yep. So yeah, the longer that you stake, the higher your interest, or the higher that you're going to get paid. And but you can choose your period. You don't even have to stake it. You can hold it in liquid if you think the price is going to pump in the short term.
Okay. Now, I'm trying to remember what the chart looked like, but it looked like it took a major hit just recently.
It did. Yeah, this is kind of a rough time for HEX. So let's go back to January of this year, and HEX was around 1 penny. So just looking at it in terms of how much it's appreciated from January 1st of 2021 till today, and it's what, I don't know, 18 cents or 21 cents, something like that. I don't even know, guys. Honestly, I don't check. But it's somewhere around that. That's still a huge win. It had, gone all the way up to 48 cents, maybe even crossed 50 cents at some point. But it is, anytime that something runs up that quickly, there's going to be a pullback. I mean, we've seen it in SHIB too.
Yeah. What was the catalyst? Do you know? That's really what it is.
For the price dip?
Yeah. What was it? An exchange launch or?
No. So yeah, HEX is kind of unique in that, like, there's been no paying for exchange listings. So I work for a marketing company, and exchange listings are paid for, and they're not cheap. So that's not something that HEX has ever done. There has never been anything like that. Actually, Jenkins, are you still here? Do you want to come in here and talk about what caused that dip? If you're around, drop me a note. I'll send you a link. Yeah. So what was the catalyst? I mean, for the run up, for the price run up. So there's a lot of people anticipating that HEX is going to be, or that the snapshot for Pulse will occur soon. So people were buying up HEX, wanting to get the snapshot because no one knows what the day for that is. So when the pulse snapshot occurs, you'll get a duplicate of any ERC20 tokens that you hold in your personal custody wallet. So people are wanting to get their coins doubled.
Okay, I see. That'd be a pretty good deal.
Yeah. So that, I mean, and then obviously, like, whenever you see a run up like that, you have to understand that there were, and here's someone saying it. Yeah, this is true. The dip was caused by more people selling than buying. Yeah, of course that's true. But why were more people all of a sudden selling? Obviously, because the price ran up in a very short period of time.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times they'll look at like a catalyst, like how China affected Bitcoin or whatnot, and also to kind of see what the resiliency, or also to see where it can go. Because I'm a firm believer in once it hit a price, that as long as it stays in motion, it'll get back to that price. So that it'll be good for a new all-time high.
Yep. I mean, and if you look at HEX's price chart over the 2 years that it's been in existence, it's not at all uncommon for there to be an 80% pullback. 70-80% pullbacks before new all-time highs are completely probable. Like, not probable, almost guaranteed.
Right.
Yep. So Rango, HEX has dipped like 60% 6 times, but has always come back strong. We've had 12 doubles. True. Here we go. Bitfinesse. HEX really is the first time a user can grow his or her amount of coins without overhead and without sending coins to wallets that you don't control. So HEX is a complete smart contract. That's what I really like about it. It's not like, oh, hey, buy our coins so that we can develop this technology. It's done. So the smallest stake I ever made, that's now $3 million. So this, I think that it's a really useful tool. I was originally attracted to HEX because I realized that it potentially could be used for like a realistic solution for universal basic income, which is something that we're definitely going to need as more and more jobs are taken over by artificial intelligence.
Now, how is that driven? How would that work with HEX? That's fascinating.
So like I said, it would have to be something like someone who controls a huge portion of the supply were donating it so that or staking it and then only selling off the interest or only distributing the interest. So, but it theoretically could happen because of how much of the supply the OA controls.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That would be a good story. That one I think would drive people towards it. So
yeah. Oh, and so I didn't finish telling you about Pulse. So Pulse is a fork of the Ethereum system state. I think I told you all of your ERC20. Is she an ERC20? But the intent is for the token to build their own blockchain at some point, right?
An L2.
An L2. Okay. So this is very similar to building an L2, except for it's not an L2, it's its own layer 1.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I think that it has like really major long-term potential and amazing use case. Like, it's the monetization of time.
Now, one of the things that I do understand is that the code base has been locked. So it is what it is, the way it is right now, right?
It's done. The smart contract is complete. It cannot be changed. There are no admin keys. No one can do anything to like move it from one blockchain to another. That was a lot of confusion when they're like, hey, we're going to do our own block. Richard and his team said, hey, we're going to make our own blockchain. People were like, so HEX is moving? No, HEX is not moving. HEX cannot move. It's just there's going to be a duplicate of HEX.
Interesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think a lot of people are really looking forward to that launch, and we don't know when it's going to be yet. Yeah. What other questions do you have for me, or what can I explain? Like, what are you thinking?
Oh, I don't really have any questions now. I'm just going to go kind of take a look at it, and it'll be one of the ones I dabble with.
Okay, cool.
Kind of get in there and check it out, and then kind of once I see something's kind of working for me, then I, start moving all in. So
okay. Hey guys, drop your questions for Shannon Bray in the chat, please. We can ask anything we want. No, people are okay. So people keep talking about this Alex Saunders thing. I don't know why you guys are talking about this. That was so long ago. Get over it. So Richard had this kind of, famous cryptocurrency influencer on his stream, who then called HEX a scam. And then Richard outed this person for having asked him in DMs several times for money. And then it came out that he had also asked other people, other influencers, other, thought leaders, other people throughout the industry for funds. And then he had used those funds to margin trade. So he was, in some serious trouble, and now he's in some legal trouble as well.
Gotcha.
Here's something. Here we go. Did you know that? So SHIB is an ERC20 token, so you will get a duplicate of your SHIB on Pulse. It will be PSHIB.
Really?
Yeah, so every ERC20 and every ERC771 that you hold in a self-custodied wallet will be duplicated, and you will get a copy of that. It doesn't mean that it will hold its value against Ethereum. There's not like a one-for-one peg. We don't know what's going to happen when assets go into price discovery. But it's something that you should know, and that your community should know, because especially for people who maybe are holding things on centralized exchanges or in wallets that they don't control the keys to, you may want to consider moving those funds into a self-custodied wallet until after the snapshot.
Yeah, and that would be like Ledger, right?
So yeah, Ledger, MetaMask, anything that you hold your seed phrase.
Okay. Yeah, I would like to see my ERC20s, all of them double. So
yeah. So what's going to be interesting is stable coins. So they have admin keys, of course. So any project that has admin keys over the tokens can just reverse it and delete the coins. But we don't know what's going to happen.
Stable coins are going to be the next part of regulation, so that'll be fun coming up.
Yeah. Okay, guys, let's see. So you didn't. Okay. Oh, wow. He didn't know that. Okay. So he is pretty new to Pulse Chain. Yes, new to HEX and Pulse Chain, right? Yeah. All right, guys. What do you want to see him asked? What kind of questions do you have? Drop them in the chat. What have I not told him about? So I guess I haven't told you about T-shares, which really is the most ingenious. Function of HEX. So when you stake your HEX are burned, and you're given an allotment of T-shares, which stands for trillion shares. And that's and the number of T-shares that you own determines your daily payout rate. So recently, the daily payout rate has been like 5.6 HEX per T-share. The price per T-share, here we go. Now, the price per T-share can only ever go up in terms of HEX, but as HEX's value fluctuates, it can go down in terms of dollars. But so right now, one T-share costs 19,303 HEX, which is about $3,500. And 2 years ago, T-shares cost 60 cents a piece. So and then when you end your stake, your T-shares are burned, and you get the HEX. You mint the HEX.
Okay. You'll be taking a look at that.
You're right. T-shares is super 2020. A lot of people don't have enough to get T-shares now, so they get B shares instead, which stands for billion shares. He's writing it down now. They're asking if you're writing it down.
Yeah, definitely writing it down.
Yeah, so I think T-shares are the really fundamentally important to understanding how all of this works and why it has value. So yeah.
Yeah, great. I mean, that's the part that I probably was missing. So I'm gonna go in there and dig through that and figure it out.
Yeah, if you look at the price, not the price of HEX, but the price of T-shares, it's like the line goes just straight up.
Groovy.
Huh?
Groovy.
Yeah. Here's someone. Hey, Shannon, you should check out Matty Allen's Quant Gang stream. He has all the information regarding how everything operates. There are a lot of streamers who have great information. I agree. I like Quant Gang. I like Matty. Great Whales Only also has a lot of information. Yeah. Let's see. All right, guys, you have questions for him? Do you have anything that you want me to tell him? Do you have questions for me? Now's the time. So what you're saying is we can trust you as a senator not to turn on crypto because you're personally invested in crypto.
Well, I'm not only personally invested in crypto, I'm professionally invested in crypto.
Okay.
And, the workflows and stuff that I work on is all crypto. I mean, all blockchain. All blockchain is basically an immutable database, right? So this is my industry. So yes,
Okay.
this is just something that to me is as pure as libertarianism. So it's just the way it should be.
There's some people saying, please make the IRS understand crypto. And then some other people saying, please make the IRS go away.
I would much rather make the IRS go away. I think they probably understand crypto just fine.
What? Well, I'm not so sure about that. I mean, the crypto tax laws are really, 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 I don't know, undefined. Okay, so what's something that you would like to accomplish if you're elected in North Carolina?
Excellent question. So a lot of the things I would go for is, veteran services, but I am running on a cybersecurity platform, both in national defense and DoD operation parts too. But then I'm also looking to reduce the working size of the government, particularly the DoD. We have a lot of wasted money that we're just throwing overseas that us as taxpayers are paying for. And then we just leave equipment overseas. And then, we're funding our next enemy picks up these munitions, right? And they use against us in the next war. I mean, we just gave Taliban all sorts of tanks and Black Hawk helicopters and whatnot, and that's just complete BS.
Yeah. All right. What do you compare blockchain to in the real world? What real problem is it solving, in your opinion?
Well, one of the things it can solve is, when we start looking at budgeting or whatever, people not being able to manipulate the databases and whatnot. So if you're looking at having a blockchain keeping track of government budgets, I think that in itself would be a great way of bringing in transparency to the American people, because we don't know anything, right? And if everything was recorded on blockchain, we would know everything.
Okay. So here, Bitfinesse, this is great information. Are you familiar with Duncan Trussell? He's from North Carolina, a comedian with a huge podcast. Bitfinesse says, let's get this guy elected.
I am not familiar with Duncan, but I will look him up.
Okay.
I like comedians.
Cool. Do you know any other senators that support crypto who are running? Who should we be supporting?
I do not know yet, but as we get closer and more people start identifying, coming out of the crypto closet, I guess we'll probably figure them out. By and large, though, if I had to take a guess, I'd start with your Libertarian Party.
Yeah, definitely.
Because half the people I know in crypto are Libertarians.
I would say almost everyone who I know in crypto is a libertarian, regardless of how they've voted in some elections. So, there are people who identify as libertarian or anarchist or, crypto anarchist who will vote one way or another. But still really are libertarian. Hey, Shannon, how would you plan on swaying crypto no-coiners and non-believers in the Senate?
So one of my initial roles when I started in IT, I was a Microsoft certified trainer. So I'm pretty good with a whiteboard, and we'll start with some markers. But if that's too advanced, we'll dumb it down to crayons, and we will make sure that they understand everything.
Marco says, appreciate the info and knowledge. Nice work, both of you. Thanks, Marco. What about on point using blockchain for voting? So we don't have that yet. We're far away from our government's. We discussed this already in the stream. So I suggest you go back a little bit, Runeskis. Yeah. When is crap his pants Biden out?
Well, let's hope he stays in for his full term, because Miss Harris scares the hell out of me. So there's that. I do also remember seeing a question on the Twitter feed earlier. Someone asked if I supported ranked choice voting. The answer is yes. Term limits, yes. Pretty much, I think that whole list he asked for was yes, but I forget.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Honestly, you're a politician or aspiring politician at the very least, right? So I'm not surprised that you're in more agreement with like the ideals of crypto anarchism, because really, if you weren't, you probably would have unfollowed me.
Oh no, yeah, I would actually have dove in a little bit more, right? Because I was, in politics, you're always being judged, but then now I'm just going to start mud stomping crypto on everyone. But your shows are great. Without it, I wouldn't have known anything about HEX, or I've been kind of following you for 2 years now. But then we have several other people in the same space. However we end up in our echo chamber sometimes.
Yeah.
That are excellent in both the liberty stance and the crypto market. So
I'm of the opinion, and a lot of people get tribal. Even I can like have emotional reactions to things, but I'm of the opinion that like within cryptocurrency, we have a better chance of surviving as a united front. Like, I don't care what's in your wallet, you don't care what's in mine, but like we as a movement have to be unified.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I own Microsoft stock, I own Apple stock, I own a Red Hat stock, and you know what? As a product, I hate Apple, but my kids love it. I got to spend thousands of dollars on these little devices, and $5 every time they switch their apps, and I hate the product. But I own the stock because that's where the money is. And I used to work for Microsoft, so I can easily be like, oh, all blue, right? But it doesn't. Being tribal in crypto isn't going to pan out, because the things that are going to be magical, you're not going to see coming.
Well, and then we get into echo chambers, and we don't learn about other things. Like, you didn't know about Pulse. You didn't know you were going to get a duplicate of your coins, I'm
going to jump into that as soon as we end this call. I'm jumping in on Google.
Okay, awesome. You know what? Also, join the Pulse Chain Telegram. Are you on Telegram?
Yes.
So it's t.me/PulseChainCom.
Okay.
Yeah. And everyone's saying on DuckDuckGo, please, not Google.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, Shannon, thank you so much for being here. So my show is called Building Bridges, and I think you've seen it before, right? You said you watched a couple episodes before this. So you know that the last question, okay, you know what? I have two questions I need to ask you. Is there anything that I should have asked you that I didn't ask you?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. All right. Now my last question. Will you build a bridge with me?
Sure.
Okay. You've seen this before, right? Yeah. There we go. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I know I haven't been streaming regularly lately. It's been a lot to keep up with. I appreciate all of you. Have an awesome day.
Bye, guys.